Happy Monday and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. I'm back.
I'm back too.
Welcome back.
Thank you. You welcome back. Actually, I was on the last show. Yeah,
You
it's
were
not
on the
really
last
welcome
show.
back for me.
I'm Anthony Totri. He is Shawn DePaz.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, you are.
How you doing?
I mean, it's been a while since I've been sitting next to you. It feels very weird.
I know. I came into the office. You're like, I feel like it's been a while.
It has been because I was gone for a whole 4 days, and then I saw you, and then you were out for a couple of days. So I only had the weekend. It's been a little bit, but I'm doing all right. D-backs are away, and ASU had themselves a wagon of a weekend.
Oh yeah,
it's a pretty good time to be alive.
Yeah. While we were out, ASU was in. If you will. We've got a video. We've got an interesting video.
The dopest video of all time? The hardest video of all time?
So ASU Recruiting posted this video on June 9th with like literally no context whatsoever, right?
It's so hard.
So like if you're just a fan, you're like, okay, like what is this? And then you get to the end of the weekend and you realize that was part of the recruiting that ASU did. They had those SUVs out on Sun Devil Stadium's field, and recruits were taking photos with them all weekend. Obviously, we'll get into the recruits and that stuff, but what do you think of Kenny rolling out some SUVs for these kids?
I love it. What I love most about and I've kind of just started to put like this, thought together, is like they are clearly they're not building like a football team, they're building a brand.
Mm-hmm.
Like they want you to know when you think Arizona State football, like this is the vibe you're getting, this is what we do here. And I think that's the kind of thing that resonates with recruits. Like they know that there's a certain, like, okay, I go to Arizona State, like this is the personality of an Arizona State football player. That's the personality of this program.
Mm-hmm.
Is we're gonna, we're not gonna talk shit, but we're gonna let you know. Like we have a presence, and I think that's something that ASU has been lacking for a while now. It kind of goes hand in hand with the whole sleeping giant thing. Is a lack of there's no presence. Like being an ASU football player didn't really mean anything,
Mm-hmm.
and not necessarily even in a bad way. It just didn't necessarily come with any kind of inherent like. And no one's ever going to be this, but like you think about the old school Miami teams, like you thought of them, you knew what that was, or even their biggest enemy, the LSU, but even like the Notre Dame teams, like back in the Catholic Conference, and I mean still to a certain extent, like you know what it means to be a Notre Dame football player, you know what it means to be an Alabama football player. Now you're starting to get a sense of what it means to be an Arizona State football player, and I think that's huge for the recruits because, like I said, I do really think that this program has lacked a presence.
Yeah, absolutely. This isn't something that we saw with Herm. And if it is, it's something that they all did behind closed doors. Yeah. I like the fact that Kenny and this recruiting staff are really opening the gates a little bit and letting people get a glimpse into what they're doing, because it felt like with Herm and that previous staff that it almost felt like they weren't trying. Yeah. Right? So now you get...
Or they weren't doing anything with a purpose. Yeah. Like everything now feels like every little thing that Kenny and this staff does feels like it's being done with a purpose. Whereas, like with Herm, it kind of just felt like they were like, okay, like this is kind of, we're recruiting. Like, here we go. Like everything is done intentionally with this staff.
Everything is something, if you will.
Yeah.
So let's get into some of these recruits. First, I want to start with Rodney Bimage Jr., 3-star cornerback, 6 foot, 170. He was here this past weekend, has 21 offers, including places like Colorado, Arkansas, Texas A&M. 24/7 Sports crystal ball prediction has him going to Arizona State.
Love it.
Look, in terms of adding another cornerback, it would be huge for this roster. You look at some of the guys that ASU will probably lose down the line, right? A guy like Jordan Clark. You're losing a guy in Ro Torrance. I believe you're losing a guy in Ed Woods as well, right? So there are a lot of, I don't want to say holes, but there's going to be a lot of like roster spots.
Yeah, and it's 2023. Yeah. Like, you never know what's going to happen in the portal. But yeah, the cornerback is that position where I'm going to take every single recruit that wants to come here. Like, you can't have enough depth at that position. And this is a guy that's highly coveted. You mentioned 21 offers, and these aren't from nobody schools. Like, Arkansas is a solid, that's an SEC school at the end of the day. So is A&M. I know A&M had a tough season last year. And then Colorado was obviously like the most exciting new destination in college football this year. So like, and the fact that ASU is at the very least seeming to be the leader in that race, like that is a super encouraging sign. And then adding a 3-star cornerback adding a 3-star at a position like this, at the very least, just helps with depth. And like I said, I'm never going to complain about that. It's exciting.
Yeah, it'll be real interesting to see where he ends up. Taking a look at two guys who actually committed to Arizona State. Mason Fleming, a 3-star defensive lineman. He was here this past weekend, 6'2", 250. ASU got a hard commitment from him. And then Cullen Charles, a 3-star wide receiver, 6 foot 190. Also another hard commit from him. I want to say this is ASU's third receiver commit that they got so far in the 2024 class. And then obviously adding a guy like Mason Fleming is huge just for position depth, right? Mm-hmm. We know that this defensive line didn't really do a whole lot to move the needle in the transfer portal after a couple guys left. So it's going to be interesting to see what Mason Fleming can do down the line. Obviously, again, a part of the 2024 class. But Shawn, what do you think about these two guys?
Yeah, I mean, again, other positions where I don't think it ever hurts to have more depth in. Specifically when you look at a guy like Cullen, you look at a receiver, like that's part of why you go and get a guy like Jaden Rashada specifically. Mm-hmm. Like I know there might be, especially against some people that aren't paying as close attention, like maybe a little bit of disappointment. You haven't heard more of Rashada's name, whatever. But like this is kind of what it was. He came in here, and I think he obviously hasn't transferred. Like he's at least comfortable with the idea that he's not going to be the starter most likely. But you have him here for the future. And I think having an exciting quarterback like that only serves to help get receivers. And I think this shows that. And then the defensive line, like again, it outside of just like the player, they've shown again that they're doing a really good job at recruiting in Texas. Mm-hmm. And B, that's another position where you can't have too much depth. I mean, you look at the situation of the roster right now, one of the thinner positions on the roster, I'd say, is something that we know that they want to add. So I don't think it doesn't hurt. It's just, again, I think it's outside of the player, just symbolic of only good things for this team and this program.
If you're an offensive recruit, what moves the needle more for you? A guy like Jaden Rashada or a coach like Kenny Dillingham?
I mean, I think it's Kenny Dillingham. I think you just look at how exciting his offenses have been. And just the opportunity, like especially, I guess it kind of depends on what kind of receiver you are. But if you're a receiver like the receivers that are on this roster, like an X, like a Badger, you're a playmaker. You have a lot of physical talent, and you know how to make plays on a football field. This is the perfect situation for you with Kenny's offense, because he gets the ball out of his quarterback's hand quick, and he allows his playmakers to make plays. And I think, again, if you're a playmaker, or if that's what you think you are as a football player, then this is a super exciting spot. I don't know if you're going to get, necessarily a lot of just vertical threats necessarily. But when you have playmakers like you have on this roster, I think those kinds of guys are definitely going to be at least intrigued by the idea of playing in a Kenny Dillingham offense.
Yeah.
Although obviously a guy like Rashada doesn't hurt. It's a guy that recruits, that's a name that they know at this point. And in a lot of ways, not necessarily for good reasons, but you hear a guy's offered $14 million. It doesn't matter if he got it or not. He was offered $14 million because he's got to be a good quarterback, right? Like, so I think it's almost like the no such thing as bad publicity. All publicity is good publicity. I think that's kind of the case with Jaden Rashada. Like, he's a guy now that people know is a big name quarterback. Even if that's not necessarily the truth of who he is, I think it's, again, going to help. But I do think Kenny is probably the bigger draw there.
Yeah, and I think, just taking a look at Kenny and Jaden, Kenny, I feel like, is probably one of the best coaches in the nation, if not the best, to truly unlock what Jaden Rashada can be. And I think we've talked about that on the show.
Glad making the point. Yeah, you put them together. Yeah. That's not like those are two competing things.
Yeah,
you put them together.
No, you're absolutely right.
And let's be real. Like, as much as Rashada is a addition or is a draw, it is, like I said earlier, it's 2023. There is no guarantee that he's here next year. So you can only, you're not necessarily recruiting to a school just because of the quarterback. Because, in some situations, maybe, right? If you think if you're going to start as a freshman and the quarterback is, right, if you're Marvin Harrison Jr., right, and you think you're going to start as a freshman and your quarterback's Bryce Young, well, okay, then you might be going just because of the quarterback. But that's obviously not the situation here.
We don't know that.
Well, maybe, but all I'm saying is, there's no guarantee Rashada's going to be here, so he can only take it. So that can only take receivers so far. But the Kenny, you have to. Pretty safe assumption he'll be here next year.
Yeah, absolutely. While we're talking about pretty safe assumptions, guys, I'm going to give you a pretty safe assumption on the best sportsbook app to use, and that's BetMGM, guys. And they've got a really dope offer that I want to tell you guys about. Okay, so this is how you're going to get in on this offer in 3 easy steps. First, Log into BetMGM Sportsbook app on iOS or Android. You got that?
Done on an iOS.
Okay. Second step.
I'm not. If you're gonna use an Android, use BetMGM. But come on, just get a fucking iPhone.
Be better. Play the BetMGM MLB free-to-play game from May 27th, 2023 through September 7th, 2023. Be a batter and pick an area of the strike zone. Okay?
Top right.
Okay. 3, depending on the area of the strike zone you pick, you're going to get a single, double, triple, or home run, or pop out and receive the prize associated with that type of hit. Played once a day. Prizing must be used on MLB and expires in 24 hours.
I got a single. I still have not popped out yet. Just want to say that. Never popped out.
You had a home run yet?
I'm batting 1,000. I did on my first ever at bat.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably the most exciting young recruit or some young prospect in baseball.
First at bat's a home run?
First at bat's home run. Haven't struck out yet. But
are you Ellie De La Cruz?
Corbin Carroll.
Okay,
fuck Ellie De La Cruz.
Right.
I actually like him a lot, but no Corbin Carroll. 15% MLB parlay boost. So maybe you're a fan of Corbin and Ellie. Parlay the Reds and the D-backs together.
Which one did you do?
Top right.
Top right? Okay, I'm going to do something different. What should I do?
Bottom left. Let's go.
Bottom left?
Really hope I didn't just ground you out or something. Pop you out.
That feels like a pop out.
I lose.
Oh.
Better luck next time.
What are you doing, Shawn?
Listen, I can only bat for myself. I've batted 1,000.
To be fair, I've won before.
And also, I'm just...
Guys, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use that bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live, but for our Arizona audience, you guys are going to get up to $100 in bonus bets on your first wager with BetMGM. Again, make sure you use that bonus code PHNX. Check out the show notes for full details. And now, listen to our man Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
You know what they don't have in Michigan? 4 Peaks. But they do have it here. It is. Don't say boo. You like it. Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer. 4 Peaks is the best beer. Actually, I've seen y'all cheer for 4 Peaks, and that's a pretty good thing to cheer for.
That's fair.
Teachers are cheering for 4 Peaks too, and we're cheering for teachers because teachers are the backbone of our society. They are the shepherds of the youth. And 4 Peaks is doing their best to thank a teacher. Every year, 4 Peaks donates school supplies to teachers around the valley. This year, they are giving away 11. That's more than 10. That's one more than 10. 11 $1,000 cash grants, and one lucky teacher will win a teacher's lounge renovation provided by 4 Peaks. To thank a teacher, go to 4peaks4teachers.org and complete the form to enter their chance to win. Nominations are due June 30th, so don't delay. Got to do it by the end of the month. Teachers Tuesdays are also back at the 8th Street Pub. Every Tuesday through July, bring a valid teacher ID and receive $4 points of Kilt Lifter. $4 pints of Kilt Lifter. Wow, hazy, and hot knot. 4 Peaks, 4teachers.org to nominate, donate, or reserve your kit. And check out our friends over at 4 Peaks or 4 Peaks Pub. Or check our friends out at 4 Peaks Brew or at 4 Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 or older to drink 4 Peaks. Please drink responsibly. I know you're feeling slightly under the weather. Have you tried a 4 Peaks yet?
Today.
Just like to deal with your under the weather.
I haven't.
There's get a peach ale. There's fruits in it. Fruits is supposed to be good for you. I'm just saying I'm not a doctor, but I don't know if it would hurt.
Okay.
Just saying, try it.
Well, I'm going to go to the doctor later. I'll let him. Yeah, maybe that'll be the prescription.
Yeah, just
a peach ale. That'd be pretty crazy if he prescribed me.
That'd be wild, but
Joe in the chat.
Orders.
Sorry, I'm late. Did y'all touch on the pyramids yet?
Did you watch the show Friday?
Didn't. No, I was
literally. Any opinions on pyramids? Because we had a very big pyramid.
I've got my opinions on the pyramids, and then I've got my
fun opinions on the pyramids.
Yeah,
I feel you.
Y'all touched on the pyramids?
We talked extensively. The chat talked extensively.
Not just touched on. Like, it was the show.
It was a pyramid show.
It was a thread throughout the entire.
Wasn't there an interview on Friday?
Yeah, it was a fabulous show.
It was a fabulous show, and then immediately after we went into pyramids. I don't even remember how the pyramids came up, but they took over. I'll know that.
Either
they took over. We'll have to go back and watch the show.
Okay, well that's fair. You remember how you said you love adding cornerbacks?
I do.
Okay, can I interest you in one with an extra star?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, Chris Johnson II, a 4-star DB. He was at Arizona State this weekend, 6 foot, $165. He's also got 16 offers, including Arizona State, Oregon, Utah. I don't believe that his 24/7 crystal ball is updated.
Any relation
to the actual Chris Johnson? I don't think so.
I feel like I had to check.
First off, if I'm Chris Johnson's son, I'm playing running back.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It'd be crazy to see. I don't understand how a running back's kid ends up as a defensive back, but you never know.
Joe, also, I think Totri was in the wrong with the roommate. Can't believe he stole his keys.
Wait, what?
Oh, you weren't here for that. We did a whole what's it?
Dear Abby.
Yeah, we did a whole Dear Abby about my roommate. Last week, maybe.
Oh boy.
Yeah. What do you think of Chris Johnson the second? Not Chris Johnson the first. Phenomenal.
Chris Johnson the first, amazing running back. Chris Johnson the second. Listen, the fact that you're getting 4-star here on OVs is this is OV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's even a step up. Like, and I think with, like I was kind of saying, the presence that this program is starting to build, and the culture here, I think ASU is a place where if you get someone here, I think anything's possible. Because again, I am by no means a college football recruit, but I remember the first time I came out to Arizona and I was blown away, and I was like, I'm moving out here. And I think it has the ability to have that effect on certain people, especially when you look at the places they're recruiting, Louisiana, Texas, like. First off, not everywhere in Louisiana is New Orleans. Like, some of these kids grew up in the bayou. There's jack shit out there other than good gumbo. And they're saying, dude, fucking
go crazy.
New Orleans food goes stupid.
Dude, it might be
it might be the best food in the country. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh no, I agree with you.
New Orleans food, the city is disgusting in my opinion. I think it's dirty and gross, but the food is amazing. But the real, I forget where I was even going with that. But yeah, again, you get kids out here, and I think anything's possible. So the fact that they're getting 4-star recruits out here and 4-star recruits that are getting recruited heavily in this conference, I think is that in itself is a great sign. And again, fucking who knows? Anything's possible. You throw a 4-star, a 6-foot 4-star DB on this team. Why not? Why not?
That'd be fun. So, what would you say ASU's best position is right now?
Right now,
in this current moment, what would you say is probably the best position?
I would say
or who they have the most talented player.
Oh, well, I mean, that's obviously tight end.
That's tight end. That's
I would say the tight
end.
I'll take Bryce Pierre over a lot of tight ends in this country.
Dude, I forgot he's on the team, to be honest with you. Bryce Pierre, Messiah Swinson,
who's 80 feet tall, and Jalen Conyers, second best tight end in the country.
There was a tight end here this past weekend, Jordan Washington, a 3-star tight end, who just happens to also fit the build of a small Toyota Tacoma. I don't know, yeah. 6'4", 220. A giant. 16 offers, including Arizona State, Texas, Utah, Texas A&M, and a crystal ball prediction has him at Texas. But Jordan Washington follows our podcast.
Hey.
And he liked your graphic that you made of Jalen Conyers.
Hey, I'm just saying, Texas is cool. They might have the 3rd best tight end in the country.
You know what's cool?
But they don't have the 2nd best tight end in the country.
You know what's cooler than cool?
Ice Cold?
No, Kenny Dillingham.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was the Outkast remix. That's what they did.
What's cooler than being ice cold? What is cooler than being cool? Being Kenny Dillingham. I said, what's cooler than being cool? Being Kenny Dillingham. All right.
Phenomenal. Obviously, the expectation is Jalen Conyers is going to be headed to the NFL next year.
I mean,
and you're not replacing him,
no,
by any means. And you're getting Bryce Pierre back. I don't necessarily know the exact eligibility left of Messiah Swinson, but there's definitely going to be a hole at tight end next year, assuming Jalen leaves, to get Jordan Washington in the building. Again, the stars don't mean a whole lot to me at this point, right? You're getting a guy at 6'4", 220 who can come in. He's got offers from some giant schools, right? Texas A&M, Utah. The stars don't matter, clearly, right? I think it would go a long way to get a guy like this in this position group under what then would be second-year Jason Mons.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Conyers was a 6'4", 220-pound 3-star recruit. That's all, like, quite literally a 6'4", 220-pound on the dot 3-star recruit from Texas.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, a recruit wants to see what a 6'4", 220-pound 3-star tight end is going to look like. where better to do it than a team with a 6'4", 220-pound tight end who was probably going to be the best tight end in the conference and maybe in the country. Like, damn right, the stars don't really mean shit. So, yeah, I mean, again, this team has something quite unique that gives them, I think, a really unique perspective or kind of advantage here. Like, Jalen gets to show him what life it would be like as Jalen Conyers, essentially.
That's pretty crazy that they were exact same.
Yeah, that is crazy. I looked it up just to see. I was just more looking to see what Jalen's stars were, and it's listed exact same. So, yeah, man. And like you said, Jalen is probably going to be leaving. You don't know what the future for really either of the other tight ends are because, again, this is 2023. That's, sign me up. Sign me up. Like, and I think, again, you're not going to get all of these recruits, but you get a couple of them and they can be different.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It'd be crazy if you got every single recruit. You'd have the NCAA call.
Yeah,
if you were able to get every single recruit.
I understand that people might be a little like jaded by ASU's history over the last few years, but the reality is not everyone can be wrong. Like, or I guess everyone can be wrong, right? Like, there's been number one recruits in the country who have been busting college, but like the fact that he is getting recruited by all of these really, really good programs, like A&M had a bad year. They had like a top 3 recruiting class that year, though. Texas is still Texas. Utah, heard of them? Like, just saying. Okay, it's a solid recruit, and if he's considering ASU, that is the first step.
While we're just saying things, I'm going to go ahead and just say that Burrito Express, guys, they've got the burrito for you.
I know what you're going to say, but it's a fact.
It is a fact. Burrito Express. It's the greatest burrito in the galaxy. I'm sure the aliens that have invaded Earth as of the last couple of
weeks. I think
weeks.
that's where the pyramid thing kind of started.
They probably just came here to
get burritos.
From Burrito
honestly,
Express.
if you look at, because I do my own research. I'm not a sheep that just listens to people on the internet. I do my own research. I went to Egypt and I looked at the hieroglyphics. Aliens, they built the pyramids and burritos.
Did they?
Yeah.
So are you telling me that Angel's an alien?
I mean, you met Angel. He's a little out there. No, he's out of this world, bro.
I think Angel's an angel. That's what I think.
That's a good point.
Absolutely, guys.
He's not of this earth. I'll say that.
Check out Burrito Express, guys. They got locations all over the valley, and their food specs. I believe we get Burrito Express next week.
I believe so.
Oh, God, I'm just so happy there's no steak and salsa haters in this room today. No. That this is the trio of people who appreciate a good steak and salsa burrito without judgment.
Yeah, no, it is. Thank God we're doing it next week because the week after that we're going to be gone.
Yeah, well, you guys are going to be. I'm still going to be here.
Yeah,
guys,
but I just would be sad if we missed Burrito Express.
Grab a burrito and follow Burrito Express on Twitter at BurritoEXP.
Do it. And then, wash it down with Polar Pop.
That sounds good to me.
Why not?
I actually had a Polar Pop yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
I should.
A little blue Powerade action?
Ooh, yeah. Hell yeah. That's the one thing is that I genuinely, they have one of like the largest soft drink selections. Like this one nearby the office, they have Arizona's on tap, like different, like they have Arizona green tea, Arizona Arnold Palmer, Arizona sweet tea, like all on tap. You can get Powerade there. If you're not a soda guy, they got lemonades. They got all of it. Get out of here, Shane.
What are you doing here, Shane?
Go eat a burrito. Oh, wait, you can't.
Ha.
You can't. Ha ha.
Sucker.
Ha ha.
Oh my God.
All right, Shane.
Don't be mean to him.
You started the being mean thing.
I didn't think he was here.
Yeah. So it's better? It's better in that situation?
I'm just mad that Shane's been in here the whole time and hadn't said shit for 20 minutes.
I know. Well, I'm going to get back
on... He is on drugs, to be fair. That's because he got his wisdom teeth out. That's why everyone...
He's not just on drugs, guys.
He got his wisdom teeth taken out. He can't have a burrito, but he can't have a Polar Pop, like Leah said earlier on PHNX Sun Devils. PHNX Coyotes. Mustachio in the cut. They got a bunch of... It's America's drink shop. Circle K. Iced coffee for $1.89. We talked about the Polar Pops. And if you text PHNX to 31310, you get buy one, get one Polar Pops. So Leah can pretend she's doing something nice by getting Shane a Polar Pop, but it was really just a free one she got after buying herself a Polar Pop. I won't tell him. It's our secret between the three of us. Check them out. Like I said, make sure you're not missing out on all the great stuff. Text PHNX to 31310. Join their SMS subscriber club and get a buy one, get one free offer on 32-ounce Polar Pops. Head to circlek.com/store-locator to find Circle K's near you.
A couple things in the chat. Glenn Mustachio. I just want you to know that you have forever changed the way that I just talk to Shane. He is now forever Mustachio.
Mustachio is the best nickname that has been assigned to him.
Yes, he's been assigned the nickname.
Yeah, I mean, you don't choose your own nickname because he tried to do Big Purr, or he tried to make Big Purr not happen, but it doesn't matter because if we want it to happen, it's going to happen. But
well, no, he didn't want to.
No, he was Lil Purr.
He was Lil Purr
because Bo was Big Purr.
Big Purr. Yeah. Bo was fine with Big Purr.
Yeah,
and honestly, if you didn't acknowledge it, then it wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah, it's funny because you call Shane Lil Purr. That's crazy. That's a shot. I would not stand for that, Leah. It's funny because if you call him Lil Purr, he gets hurt. But if you call him Big Purr, he gets hurt because Bo's Big Purr.
There's no winning with him.
There's no winning.
God damn. And then I think this was Chase's comment up in the chat. 4-star tight end decommitted from LSU today that we are recruiting. Yep. Tavion Galloway decommitted, a part of the 2024 class for LSU. He made the announcement on Sunday that he was decommitting from the Tigers after reconsideration. Quote, I have decided to take a step back and decommit from LSU. Do
you know if he is a Louisiana kid? I assume so because everyone that goes to LSU is a Louisiana kid.
And unless your name is Brian Kelly.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
He is where?
Ohio?
He's from Ohio.
Oh, well, that'd be a new one. I was gonna say, they've done a really good job.
He's a large man.
They've done well recruiting in New Orleans.
6'5", 230.
Oh, boy. That's big. Big boy.
31 offers, obviously LSU, UCF, Akron, Arizona
State. He's going to be a zit, baby.
Arkansas. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, would be
Hey, Buffalo's on here.
Hey, horns up.
Colorado, Minnesota, Tennessee.
Hey, but I mean, you look at some of those, like, ASU is a very solid program when you rank them against those other schools. Oh, yeah.
So. Out of all these schools, I'm just going to rapid fire. I'm going to name the ones that realistically, if I'm a recruit, and I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible, that I would throw my name.
Yeah, if I'm getting offers from these schools, some of the schools on this list I'm not looking at.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not looking at Akron.
No.
And I'm probably not looking at UCF.
But I'm throwing in, so these are the schools I'll throw in. LSU, and can you do a counter for me?
Yes.
LSU, Arizona State, Arkansas, Auburn,
yes.
Cincinnati, Colorado, Florida, Miami, Michigan State, Ole Miss, Purdue.
You put Purdue on there?
I put Purdue on there.
Out of all some of the schools you left off,
in Tennessee.
Yeah. So I mean, there's probably a couple in there that you could kind of like. There's a couple of.
You can maybe put Pitt. You can maybe put Minnesota,
and like North Carolina and Kentucky have had. So there's like a handful of Power 5 schools. But I mean, if you're ranking them against ASU and what ASU is now,
and realistically, if you're decommitting from LSU, you're not going to.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you're not going to UNC.
Yeah, that's probably a fair point. Yeah. But. Yeah, I mean ASU. I don't think this is not a kid who's getting recruited by schools that are. It's not like ASU is the bottom of this barrel.
Yeah,
I think they have. When you're just looking at the schools, obviously there's a lot of different factors that change the recruits that lead to a recruit's decision. But just on its face, ASU definitely at least ranks up there.
Absolutely. Getting to one last guy that is a hard commit that was here this past weekend, and I want to say that he had already been committed. This was before the spring game that he had committed. He was just on a visit. Dylan Tapley,
yes.
4-star wide receiver, 6'4", 205. I believe he committed during our pregame show because I remember going crazy that you were getting not only a local kid, but you were getting a receiver that was 6'4", 205.
And I know we were just saying stars don't mean shit, but they're better to have them than not.
I mean,
4 stars is solid. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good football player.
And again, I am like, you can get a guy at 6'4", 205 as a freshman. Figure he's going to add 15, 20 pounds throughout his time here.
And and that's the one thing that I think this receiving core is missing is size.
It's super size.
Is a big guy. And I know I was talking earlier about you might not be, if you are this kind of receiver, this might not be the most attractive place. But on the other side end of that, like there's a clear hole there. Like you can kind of carve out a role. Obviously, you look at a guy like Andre Johnson who's bigger, but he obviously has not, if we're being honest, produced to the level that I think people have hoped over the last year and up to this point, I guess. So yeah, to get a guy like this, I think would be a nice little change of pace for ASU fans and ASU quarterbacks.
Dude, there are some like PIs in the chat. Glenn, interesting fact that the Galloway kid is distant cousins with Will Schaefer. I can't confirm that.
Yeah.
By not anybody that's listening on audio, I cannot confirm that. But that is, if true, that is crazy, and I do not know how you know that. Will Schaefer, current linebacker at Arizona State.
Shane saying Desert Mountain stand up.
Yeah, Dylan Tapley is from Desert Mountain. Last recruit that we'll talk about Wasn't on a visit here, but he released his top 5. Okay. We've got a 4-star wide receiver.
Ooh.
You're going to love his name. Jacaden Ferguson.
That sounds like one of the first names, but a name that you heard in the East West College Bowl.
And his final 5, Arizona State, Oklahoma, Oregon, Houston, Ole Miss.
Big hitters.
Absolutely.
I mean, but those are 3 SEC schools. Or no, 2 SEC schools. I mean, okay. Oklahoma's not SEC yet, but they're going to be. Houston's Big 12. I don't know if they start this year or not.
Let's just put them in their conferences that they're going to be.
Yeah, so I mean, you got 2 SEC schools, a Big 12 school, and 2 Pac-12 schools.
You're not going to Houston.
I don't think you're going to Houston. Going to Ole Miss, I understand it, but at the same time, it's like, do you want a chance to win a conference championship? Because it's not happening in the SEC if you're going to anyone other than Georgia or Alabama.
And where's he from? Let me do my best Glenn impression.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Because if he's a West Coast kid, hey now, I don't know. Like Oregon's cool, but
he's from Texas.
Okay,
you know where ASU is.
They've been fucking. They planted a flag in the state of Texas. So they've done obviously great job recruiting in that state. So that's an encouraging sign. Again, going back to what we were talking about with how attractive Jaden Rashada and Kenny Dillingham would be for wide receivers. They have a chance, man. Oregon is not going to have Bo Nix next year. I think.
God, I forgot that he's coming back.
So, the Oregon thing is like not necessarily as attractive on its face. Like, I don't know. I think ASU, they made the top 5 for a reason, and I think ASU is so unique now. Like I said, it has such a presence that it being in the top 5, and I think that something, especially when these are the other schools, I think that shows that something about this school just really resonated.
Yeah.
So I think that's obviously super encouraging.
Absolutely. Clint, as he does every day.
Go Beavs.
With a Go Beavs in the chat. Clint, you're phenomenal. Look, guys, so all of these recruits over this past weekend, it was a big recruiting weekend for ASU. They moved up to 35th nationally in their 2024 class per Rivals. So obviously, hopefully that moves up as they get more commits. I imagine it will. What would you like to see from Kenny's 2024 class in terms of a ranking by the end of it?
In what context? Like nationally?
Nationally, where would you be like, okay, that was a super successful first year? And again, it's first year.
Where were they last year? I guess it's kind of hard to measure. I don't know. Like,
let's just take a look at Herm's last year. Herm's last year was, I believe, the 3rd worst in the country. And I wish I was joking. But I would like to say that Herm's class, his last recruiting class.
2022?
I believe so.
Let's see here. Composite rank 103rd. So not good. I don't know if that's technically
what was 2023?
2023 was 43.
Yeah, that wasn't Herm.
Yeah. Is it ridiculous to say top 25? Would that be absurd? I don't know.
Think so. 10 spots.
It's hard to tell kind of in the abstract, right? Like obviously it depends on what the other, but like I think a top 30 finish at the very least. Like I think that is possible. I think just seeing the names, the star numbers that are at least being interested in here. I think if you're dreaming big and everything goes right, I don't think that's out of the picture.
Yeah, I'll be comfortable with anything from. I mean, obviously anything above top 20 is amazing.
Yeah.
But I'll be super comfortable with anything from top 25 to top 30.
And Glenn making a fair point that top 25 led us with a good transfer portal.
Yeah.
And I think, again, talking about the presence thing, I think this is just only going to become, especially if the season goes well, next year this is going to be even more attractive. Alex saying I just think not going backwards is a win. I agree, but also like I agree. Like I will, if they go backwards, that's when I'll start being disappointed. If they just stay kind of where they are, I'm not going to necessarily be disappointed. I won't be excited about it, but I think that being like the bar is too low. Like I definitely think they're capable of doing a lot more. But I agree that I think not just not going backwards in the first year with a new coach is that's a decent. I'll take that.
It would be the bar is the floor.
Let's be real. As long as the ranking doesn't have 3 numbers, I'll be happier than I was in the last year with Herm.
A-okay, guys. And it is Monday, so you know what that means. Now. It is Margarita Mondays over at Illegal Pete's, guys, and it's exclusive to Arizona locations. $3 margs all day, every Monday. Nothing brightens up that Monday mood more than soaking up the sun with a few margs. And don't forget about Taco Tuesdays. That's tomorrow.
Are they allowed to call it that?
No, you see the LeBron thing? He's made like a whole, him and like, there's like a whole thing with that.
Taco Bell. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying, are they allowed to say that? Or did you just oh no, they did say Taco.
No, yeah, Taco
Look at that. Illegal. They're putting the illegal and illegal Pete's.
There you go. $2 tacos all day, every Tuesday. Enjoy your favorite chicken, pork, and veggie tacos for just $2. So swing by and start your week off the right way at Illegal Pete's.
It's crazy. Max chose the perfect time to leave because since I got off the show, I haven't read ads as much. So I've had a much less opportunity for me to say some reckless shit that he would pop out his head out of the office and give me a look about. I've done a pretty good job, though, in the ad reads I've had.
I'd say so. Alex in the chat, cautiously optimistic, but only because I would like some consistency for once. I want Dilly to push hard, but not become overextended due to pressure.
Yeah, that's completely fair. Like, this isn't going to be a national champion overnight. It's gonna take time. But I do think that's the ceiling. That's the goal.
Absolutely. Last random question. Well, I guess it's not totally random. But before we get out of here, NBA Finals.
Yes.
Could be over tonight.
It will be.
The Heat are doing everything in their power
2-0 elimination game so far
to ensure that it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And part of what they're doing is they're getting back their white man.
I didn't see this, but that's awesome.
You didn't see
What
it?
if he drops like 40 on him? What if
and
he
they still
nuclear?
Lose?
Yeah. I on PHNX Best today, I took Jimmy Butler to be the leading scorer in tonight's game because I think there's a chance we get like a 40-45 point Jimmy Butler performance in a loss. But if Tyler Hero wants to do that, I'll take that too. That'd be fun.
Yeah, Tyler Hero is back for the Miami Heat tonight. So my question to you then is, who's a Sun Devil who you wish had one more year of eligibility in any sport? And let's just say in the last 5 years.
Oh, in the last 5 years.
Yeah, let's not go legends here.
Okay. Oh, well, I was thinking like now. Like I was gonna say like Yanni is up there. I think this football team could really benefit from. Now I have to refocus now that we're doing the last 5 years because I was gonna say what's his name, Kyle Soley. I think the football team could benefit from him. Last 5 years, do you have somebody off the top of your head?
Yeah, Nesta.
Ooh,
Nesta J. Silvera.
Ooh, okay, yeah, that'd be a vibe.
This is a defensive line that could definitely use some. I don't want to say they could use some leadership. More, they could just use the experience of Nesta and the depth to get a guy like Nesta J. Silvera back. So that would be my quick, easy answer.
Okay, that's a good one. It's not an eligibility question, really, but I would like to have Josh Doan back next year. I know he chose to leave, but Grant House, obviously.
Johnny Walker,
yeah, we're in the legend
forever.
Back. Johnny Walker forever.
Be here for 20 years.
I got one.
Season.
Kamani Lawrence.
Yeah, that's
Mr. Sun Devil.
Mile Giles.
Yeah,
would have been nice to have her on this team.
Although I don't know if it would.
It wouldn't have made much of a difference. I don't think the team would have been good, but I mean, it just would have been cool for her to be there still.
Absolutely.
He hasn't exhausted his eligibility yet, but just preemptively, Leon Marchand, I want him to have another one.
I want him to stay here forever.
Yeah, so do I. The fact that he's even coming back next year is ridiculous.
Build him a fish tank.
Build him a statue.
Build him a school.
Yeah.
Ooh, Lou Dort or Spencer Torque. Torque
would have been good.
Torque would have been phenomenal.
Torque would have been awesome.
This offense would have been ridiculous with Torque.
Oh my God. Ew.
Yeah.
Dort would have been a vibe on this team. Yeah.
Dort would have been amazing on this team.
Yeah.
God. Woo-hoo. That would be fun. Guys, that's going to do it for us today. If you enjoyed the content, give us a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow Shawn at Shawn_pause.
Popping in and out of the show as always.
We will see you guys Tuesday at 2 p.m. But for now, peace.